Continuing Tahlim are the book of Psalms. I don't. Psalm 103 has been continued here. God as a noun and verb hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. Bless God as noun and verb, ye his angels, the unfallen, ungendered things, not some exalted human or something like that, that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. Bless ye God as noun and verb, all ye his hosts. Ye ministers of his that do his pleasure, bless God as a noun and verb, all his works. In all places of his dominion, bless God as noun and verb, O my soul. Psalm 104, bless God as a noun and verb, O my soul. God as a noun and verb, my God, thou art very great, thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretchest out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits, as in they're purely of the spiritual realm, instead of, being incarnate. His ministers, a flaming fire, who laid the foundation of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. Thou coverest it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled. At the voice of thy thunder they hastened away. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys, unto the place which thou hast founded for them. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. He sendeth the springs into the valleys, which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. What's the name of the wild donkeys? I'm thinking a picture, but I'm not thinking the caption by it. By them shall the fowls of the heavens have their habitation, which sing among the branches. He watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of thy works. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle. And, these, the wild versions that became domesticated and kind of became a whole new species, they were kind of different animals, right? Rocks, cows, blazers, goats, different things like that. An herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth out of the earth. And no, just like the verse in Genesis, this has nothing to do with something that's herb is a slang for. I mean, I guess that's an herb, but, not all herbs are beneficial for use at all times and all doses, that sort of thing. But the focus is on food, not just, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man. Now, is this just wine or pressed juice in general? Because some of the words mean both. And oil to make his face to shine, and bread which straighteneth man's heart. The trees of God as noun and verb are full of sap. The cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted, where the birds make their nests. As for the stork, the fir trees are her house. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. Thou makest darkness and its night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey, and seek their meat from God. The sun ariseth, they gather themselves together, and lay them down in their dens. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening. God is a verb. How manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. So is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan. Lotan, I think, is the older variation of this demonic spirit, whom thou hast made to play therein. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season, that thou givest them. They gather, thou openest thine hand, and they are filled with good. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die, and return to their dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. The glory of God as noun and verb shall endure forever. God as noun and verb shall rejoice in his works. He looketh on the earth, and it trembleth. He toucheth the hills, and they smoke. I will sing unto God as noun and verb as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I will be glad in God as noun and verb. Let the sinners be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless thou God as noun and verb, O my soul. Praise ye God as noun and verb. Psalm 108. O God. Now, are they using Elohim or divinity? My heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise, even with my glory. Awake, psaltery and harp. I myself will awake early. I will praise thee, God as noun and verb, among the people, and I will sing praises unto thee among the nations. Now, sometimes nations is Goyim. So is it those who turn their back on God, or just foreigners here? For thy mercy is great above the heavens, and thy truth reacheth unto the clouds. Be thou exalted, God is noun and verb, above the heavens, and thy glory above all the earth, that thy beloved may be delivered. Save with thy right hand, and answer me. God hath spoken in his holiness. I will rejoice. I will divide Shechem and mete out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the strength of mine head. Yehudah is my lawgiver. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Pelishtia will I triumph. Pelishtim, the wallowing of the sea beast. We mentioned Leviathan there, Leviathan. So what exactly the form being used there is, who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me unto Edom? Wilt not thou, O God, who hast cast us off, and wilt not thou, divinity, go forth with our hosts? Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. Through God we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies. Psalm 110. God is noun and verb, said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand, until I make thine enemies thy footstool. God is noun and verb shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. God as noun and verb hath sworn and will not repent. Well, why would a God make a mistake that he'd regret, right? For thou art a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. And that comes from Melchizedek. which is the king of righteousness, or King Jupiter. Which is the title of the... wasn't there an Egyptian connection that may make it mean something different? Well, at least if you take it back to then, but I don't remember. But God is noun and verb at thy right hand shall strike through the kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among those who turn their back. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. He shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up the head. Psalm 114. When Yisrael went out of Egypt, the house of Jacob, from a people of a strange language, Yehudah was in his sanctuary, and Yisrael his dominion. The sea saw it and fled. Jordan was driven back. The mountains skipped like rams, and the little hills like lambs. What ailed thee, O thou sea, that thou fleddest? Thou Jordan, that thou wast driven back? Ye mountains, that ye skipped like rams, and ye little hills like lambs. Tremble thou, earth, at the presence of God as noun and verb, at the presence of the God of Jacob, which turned the rock into a standing water, the film into the fountain of waters. Psalm 115. Not unto us, God is noun and verb, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake. Wherefore should those who turn their backs say, where is now their God? But our God is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he hath pleased. Their idols are silver and gold, the work of men's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Noses have they, but they smell not. They have hands, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. They that make them are like unto them. So is every one that trusteth in them. Nowadays, people are going to say, well, there's technology that we can make them not just whistle in the wind and wiggle with magnets or something, but we can make them, we can insert stuff to make them talk. And well, back in the day, they would hide. There were priests that would hide around the corner and speak. So people thought that the statue was speaking. And I mean, this is historical fact. They literally wrote down that this is what we're doing, but they didn't let other people back there where they wrote that stuff. O Yisrael, trust thou in God as a noun and verb. He is their help and their shield. O house of Harun, trust in God as noun and verb. He is their help and their shield. He that hath that fear God is noun and verb. Trust in God as a noun and verb. He is their help and their shield. God as a noun and verb hath been mindful of us. He will bless us. He will bless the house of Yisrael. He will bless the house of Harun. He will bless them that fear God as a noun and verb, both small and great. And we have, let me remind you what the term demiurge means. Demiurge isn't a real created. Demiurge rearranges what is, or convinces what is towards something that it's not created for, right? Because human beings were called demiurges because they didn't create things. They just rearrange statues and all that. And it got a negative connotation like the devils or something, but God is noun and verb shall increase you more and more, you and your children. Ye are blessed of God as noun and verb, which made heaven and earth. The heaven, even the heavens, are God as noun and verbs. But the earth hath he given to the children of men. The dead praise not God as noun and verb, neither any that go down into silence. but we will bless God as noun and verb from this time forth and forevermore. Praise God as noun and verb. Psalm 116. I love God as a noun and verb, because he hath heard my voice and my supplications, because he hath inclined his ear unto me. Therefore will I call upon him as long as I live. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the pains of hell got hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow. Then I called upon the name of God as a noun and verb. God is a noun and verb, I beseech thee, deliver my soul. Gracious is God as a noun and verb, and righteous. Yea, our God, so that's surely like Adohi or something, is merciful. God is a noun and verb, preserveth the simple. I was brought low, and he helped me. Turn unto thy rest, O my soul. For God as a noun and verb hath dealt bountifully with thee, for thou hast delivered my soul from death, mine eyes from tears, and my feet from falling. I will walk before God as a noun and verb in the land of the living. I believe, therefore have I spoken. I was greatly afflicted. I said in my haste, all men are liars. What shall I render unto God as a noun and verb for all his benefits towards me? I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of God as a noun and verb. I will pay my vows unto God as a noun and verb now in the presence of all his people. Precious in the sight of God as a noun and verb is the death of his saints. God is a noun and verb. Truly, I am thy servant. I am thy servant and the son of thine handmaid. Thou hast loosed my bonds. I will offer to thee the sacrifice of thanksgiving, and I will call upon the name of God as a noun and verb. I will pay my vows unto God as a noun and verb, now in the presence of all his people, in the courts of God as a noun and verb's house, in the midst of thee, O Jerusalem. Praise ye God as a noun and verb. Psalm 120. Oh, well, they skipped the longest psalm. Because isn't 119 the longest psalm? I wrote out the book of Psalms before. In my distress, I cried unto God as noun and verb, and he delivered, and he heard me. Deliver my soul, God as noun and verb, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. What shall be given unto thee, or what shall be done unto thee, thou false tongue? Sharp arrows of the mighty, with coals of juniper. Woe is me that I sojourn in Mesech, that I dwell in the tents of Kedar. My soul hath long dwelt with him that hateth peace, for I am peace. When I speak, they are for war. Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from God as noun and verb, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yisrael shall neither slumber nor sleep. God as noun and verb is thy keeper. God as noun and verb is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. God as a noun and verb shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. God as a noun and verb shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Psalm 122. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of God as noun and verb. Our feet shall stand within thy gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is builded as a city that is compact together, whether the tribes go up, the tribes of God as noun and verb, unto the testimony of Yisrael, to give thanks unto the name of God as noun and verb. For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of Tabud. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within thy walls, and prosperity within thy palaces. For my brethren and my companions' sakes, I will now say, peace be within thee, because of the house of God is noun and verb, our God. I will seek thy good. Psalm 123. Unto thee lift I up mine eyes, O thou that dwellest in the heavens. Behold, as the servants look into the hands of their masters, and as the eyes of a maiden unto the hand of her mistress, so our eyes wait upon God as noun and verb, our God, until that he have mercy upon us. Have mercy upon us. God is noun and verb, have mercy upon us. For we are exceedingly filled with contempt. Our soul is exceedingly filled with the scorning of those that are at ease and with the contempt of the proud. Now, the idea of God being in heaven, it doesn't mean that God is limited to heaven. It means it's referring to the transcendent nature of God, that we're aware of these things on earth, not in heaven, really. We don't really have much information, so God dwells among that's we can't limit as easy. Or, well, we can't. We should be limiting our, God. I mean, not that we could, but you know what I mean. We can claim limits for God, but it's not saying that God's not in the heart or God's not perceived in the qualities of the universe that are more accessible. But, Psalm 124. If it had not been that God as noun and verb was on our side, now may Yisrael say, if it had not been God as noun and verb who was on our side, when men rose against us, then they had swallowed us up quick. When their wrath was kindled against us, then the waters had overwhelmed us. The stream had gone over our soul, and then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Blessed be God as noun and verb, who hath not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we are escaped. Our help is in the name of God as noun and verb, who made heaven and earth. Psalm 125. They that trust in God as noun and verb shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so God as noun and verb is round about his people, from henceforth even forever. The rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. Do good, God as noun and verb, unto those that be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts. As for such turn aside unto their crooked ways, God as noun and verb shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity. But peace shall be upon Yisrael. Now, those who are upright of God is what Yisrael means. So, we don't have to think about this in a blood and soil sort of way. That's, the Holy Land, but the people, God's people can't be removed from their shining example place. But you can remove people from the land. Living or dying, you can do that. So, Psalm 126. When God as a noun and verb turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among those who turned their back, God as a noun and verb hath done great things for them. God as noun and verb hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, God as noun and verb, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. Psalm 127. Except God as a noun and verb build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except God as a noun and verb keep the city. The watchman waketh, but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, For so he giveth his beloved sleep. Lo, children are a heritage of God as noun and verb, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. And, if the enemy's already there, they possibly might not even be enemies if you've addressed them. They still have their choice. It's not like you say something that's so good that no one's ever going to be able to say, no, can't agree with you, can't get along with you. But it's a possibility. They're worth saving, as one could say. Psalm 128. Blessed is every one that feareth God as noun and verb, that walketh in his ways. For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. Thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Behold, that thus shall the man be blessed, that feareth God as noun and verb. God as noun and verb shall bless thee out of Zion, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life. Yea, thou shalt see the children's children, and peace upon Yisrael. Psalm 129. Many a time have they afflicted me from my youth. May Yisrael now say, many a time have they afflicted me from my youth, yet they have not prevailed against me. The plowers plowed upon my back, they made long their furrows. God as noun and verb is righteous. He hath cut asunder the cords of the wicked. Let them all be confounded, and turned back that hate Sion. The good shining example that we talked about. Let them be as the grass upon the housetops, which withereth afore it groweth up, wherewith the mower filleth not his hand, nor he that bindeth sheaves his bosom. Neither do they which go by say, the blessing of God as noun and verb be upon you. We bless you in the name of God as noun and verb. Psalm 130. Out of the depths have I cried unto thee, God as noun and verb. God as noun and verb, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications. If thou, God as noun and verb, shouldest mark iniquities, God as noun and verb, who shall stand? But there is forgiveness within thee, that thou mayest be feared. I wait for God as noun and verb. My soul doth wait, and in his word do I hope. My soul waiteth for God as noun and verb. More than they that watch for the morning. I say, more than they that watch for the morning. Let Yisrael hope in God as noun and verb. For with God as noun and verb there is mercy, and with him is plenteous redemption, and he shall redeem Yisrael from all his iniquities. Psalm 131. God as noun and verb, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty, neither do I exercise myself in great matters, or in things too high for me. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Let Yisrael hope in God as noun and verb from henceforth and forever. Psalm 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant is it for our brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Harun's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon that descended upon the mountains of Zion. And for there God as noun and verb commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Psalm 136. O give thanks unto God as noun and verb, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. O give thanks unto God and unto the divinity of those considered to be deities, for his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks unto God as noun and verb of lords, for his mercy endureth forever, to him who alone doeth great wonders. For his mercy endureth forever, to him that by wisdom made the heavens. For his mercy endureth forever, to him that stretched out the earth above the waters. For his mercy endureth forever, to him that made great lights. For his mercy endureth forever. The sun to rule by day, for his mercy endureth forever. The moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that smote Egypt in the firstborn, for his mercy endureth forever. And brought out of Yisrael from among them, for his mercy endureth forever. With a strong hand, and with a stretched out arm, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which divided the Red Sea into parts, is it Reed Sea, I would think, because that's the Exodus version. It's not the Red Sea in Exodus. Well, I mean, at least not in the Aramea version. For his mercy endureth forever, and made Yisrael to pass through the midst of it, for his mercy endureth forever. But overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Reed Sea, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which led his people through the wilderness, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which smote the great kings, for his mercy endureth forever, and slew famous kings, for his mercy endureth forever. Sihon, the king of the Amorim, for his mercy endureth forever. And Og, the king of Bashan, for his mercy endureth forever. And gave their land for a heritage, for his mercy endureth forever. Even as a heritage unto Yisrael his servant, for his mercy endureth forever. Who remembered us in our low estate, for his mercy endureth forever. And hath redeemed us from our enemies, for his mercy endureth forever. Who giveth food to all flesh, for his mercy endureth forever. O give thanks unto God as a noun and verb of heaven, for his mercy endureth forever. Psalm 137, by the rivers of Babylon. There we sat down, gay we wept, when we remembered Sion, we hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof, for there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, Sing us one of the songs of Sion. How strange! How shall we sing God as an adverb's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning, and if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave in the roof of my mouth. I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O God, as a noun and verb, the children of Adam in the days of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even